Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So it seems like based on my past videos, a lot of you guys like watching Berkeley content, so I thought this would be super fitting to make a video about all the things you need to know as an incoming freshman or prospective student if you're interested in applying to UC Berkeley. So I hope this will be super helpful, and I'm going to be talking about things like dorms, my favorite campus restaurants, food, and etc. So hopefully you find it super helpful, and I'm going to be an upcoming senior this fall at Berkeley, so if you want to stay tuned for my experiences and adventures, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a new video. In terms of the campus itself, there's Southside, where a lot of the students live. There are tons of restaurants, but there's sometimes more homelessness and crime. However, the nightlife is pretty nice and there's lots of activity in the area. Then we have Northside, which is on the northern part of campus. This part is usually more quiet and less distracting, but there's definitely sort of a hilly walk up to Northside. And lastly, there's downtown. A lot of students also live in downtown, but the walk from downtown to campus is definitely a lot longer. In terms of the dorms, we have the units. So there are 3 units, 1, 2, and 3. These dorms are definitely a lot older. They're known to be the social dorms across campus. 1 and 2 have more of the renovations, while Unit 3 is sort of known to have less renovations. People tend to trash on them, but I think it's still a good place to live. And in terms of how it's set up, each floor has about 30 people and they all share the same floor, so both guys and girls. I thought at first it would be really gross to use the bathroom since they're shared by everybody, but the school actually does a pretty good job because they clean the bathrooms pretty frequently, so it's actually not as bad as you would think. And the dorms in the units are mostly made out of doubles and triples, so in terms of choosing the one you want to live in the most, I feel like it's definitely sort of a balance between how many people you want to live with and cost, because a triple will definitely cost less than a double, but I think it's easier to manage 1 roommate than 2 roommates, and just because having an extra person in the room actually takes up so much more space than you initially think. So the next dorm is Blackwell, and it's located on the south side just like the units are, and this is a super new building. It was built in 2018. So they have super nice facilities, everything is very new. They even have a gym in the lobby, which I thought was super awesome and convenient. And when I visited the building, I was just so in awe, and I wish I chose Blackwell because I live in Unit 2. And I guess the only downside I've heard is that it's less social than the units, but I think that's definitely up to personal preference. The next dorm is Foothill, which is located in Northside, and there's definitely sort of a trek when you have to go to your dorm in Northside because there's a lot of hills and steps. Foothill is also super close to the engineering building, so I know a lot of the engineering students like to live in Foothill their first year because it's a lot closer to their classes. The other dorm on Northside is Stern, which is the women's only dorm, and I think Foothill and Stern are definitely the oldest dorms on campus because they're like the first dorms that were built when the school was first founded. And since they're old, they have more problems like washing machines that don't really work as well, broken pipes, things like that. The last dorm in Berkeley is Clark Kerr, which is located in the lower east side of campus, and it's a little bit farther. It's about a 15-20 minute walk compared to the others, which is more like 5 minutes, and the rooms are a lot bigger, so you definitely get more space if you live in Clark Kerr. Another thing I noticed is that a lot of people who live in Clark Kerr tend to be student athletes, so that's just something that I've noticed. The dining hall food at Berkeley is not the best. Actually, I feel like it's quite bad. But if you look at the other schools in the area, Berkeley is not the place with the best campus food, but they actually have a lot of good restaurants, so I'll touch on that later. But in terms of the dining halls, there are Crossroads, Cafe 3, Foothill, and Clark Kerr, so they're the 4 dining halls. It gets kind of boring, and sometimes there's like a lot of oily and frozen options because there's just so many students. I feel like they have to like mass produce the foods. Around every week, you kind of notice they start introducing the same things after a while. Occasionally, when it comes to like the holiday seasons like Christmas, Thanksgiving, etc., they might have a week of like holiday foods or even different types of Asian cuisines like Vietnamese food, Mexican foods. In terms of the meal plan itself, there's a blue plan and the gold plan. The blue plan is a default plan, comes with 12 meal swipes and 300 flex dollars per semester. So basically, it's a pretty standard plan. A lot of people they'll do is eat lunch and dinner 6 days a week at the dining halls, and then for the rest of your meals, you either make your own or eat out. The flex dollars are actually super useful because you can use them in exchange for goods on campus. So there's often small markets or other small shops that sell food, And basically you can exchange these flex dollars you get with your meal plan with those items in those like markets and things like that. The second plan is the gold plan, so they come with 10 swipes and 500 flex dollars. So there is an added cost to the gold plan. I think it's $350 extra per semester, but I would definitely just recommend going to the blue plan, and if you feel like upgrading, you can always upgrade to the gold plan. One thing I love about Berkeley is how there are so many restaurants at the perimeter of campus, which is definitely cannot be said for a lot of other schools. One of my favorite pizza places is called Sliver, and basically they have only one pizza on their menu for every day of the week, and it's a super great local option in Berkeley for pizza. Another place I really like is called Taco Sinaloa. They have really good Mexican food and also a great deal on tacos every Tuesday. For brunch, I really enjoy going to Berkeley Social Club. It's basically a Korean and American infused restaurant with a lot of good options, especially for brunch and dinners, so I highly recommend going there. It's located in downtown. Rochester has really good Thai food. There's also a Boiler Room recently opened, I believe, in Southside, which has really good Asian style hot pot with tons of options. I love Kimchi Garden for Korean food, and they're located in a small plaza off of Berkeley campus called Asian Ghetto, and there's lots of other Asian restaurants within this sort of plaza area, and I actually really love going there because it's super affordable. Berkeley is super known for its boba, and I feel like every year there's at least 3 new boba stores that open in Berkeley, so there's always new spots to try. And one of my favorite boba places is called Feng Cha, and I really love their strawberry green tea, and it's so good. I always find myself going there like every week, which is probably super bad for your health, but you know, it's okay because boba's the best. Anyways, I also like TPT. I think both of these boba stores are based from Taiwan, so you know they have really good quality boba and tea. And from TPT, I really like the Thai Guan Yin tea, and it just hits the spot every time, and it's so good. In terms of transit and how people usually get around, a really common form of transportation is the bus, also known as AC Transit. All students get free bus passes, so you just scan your ID, and actually it comes with their tuition, which is like $80, so it's technically free, but like not actually free. The most popular bus route, I'd say, is the 51B because it's super convenient since it goes around the perimeter of campus and takes you from Berkeley to downtown. It also takes you to Oakland, so that's a super common bus route. If you're in Berkeley, you should definitely download the transit app because they have real-time bus updates, so that's super convenient. There is also the BART, which is the Bay Area subway system, and it's super convenient to use BART to go to places like San Francisco, which is only about a 20-minute BART ride. It's also pretty affordable, so it's around $5 each way, $10 round trip, so it's super easy to go to a day trip in San Francisco on the weekends and things like that. For a lot of the airports, people usually go to the one in San Francisco called SFO. Also, there's Oakland Airport, which is slightly closer, and a lot of students usually take Uber or Lyft to the airports, which is also a common form of transportation if you don't want to take the bus or other public transportation. If you know how to drive, Gig Car Share is a super convenient car system. So basically you can rent a car and drive it based on the number of miles you want to travel with. And there are different locations across the Bay Area in which you can pick up and drop off a car whenever you're done using it. So it's actually a lot cheaper than getting an Uber or Lyft to go around, especially if you're going to long road trips and things like that. There are a ton of fun things to do in Berkeley as well as the bigger Bay Area, and one of the things that is super quintessential for the freshman experience is hiking the Big C, which is basically a hiking trail that goes up a hill and overlooks the campus. It's super pretty when you go to the top of the Big C and you're able to see all the campus and overlooking the Bay Area, including the San Francisco Bay Bridge and Golden Gate, so it's super fun. There's like so many naturey things around Berkeley, so there's also the fire trails, also with great views. There's also the Berkeley Marina, which is in downtown Berkeley with really great bay views, and you also like ride boats and things like that. Berkeley has their own garden called the Botanical Garden. I think it's owned by the school. Basically, they have a lot of like really nice flowers and plants that you can look around, so I think it's definitely a great thing to explore when you're in Berkeley. Even though it's slightly farther from campus, you can definitely get there by bus or car. Berkeley also has their own theater called the Greek Theater. They have a lot of performers come every year for entertainment and singing, so there were some super cool performances. I think think they had Louis the Child and John Legend coming up this year, so that's super exciting. I'm actually looking forward to going to some of these events myself. And there's also just more general things you can do, like San Francisco, Oakland are super close, only about 20 minutes away. And there's also lots of parts of the Bay Area like the South Bay where so many of the tech companies are. So if you're interested in a field like that, there's so many ways to go around the Bay. So that was a summary of UC Berkeley and student life. If you're wondering anything that I didn't cover in this video, feel free to leave a comment below or message me on Instagram. So make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more future Berkeley videos as I start my senior year. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!